Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today we have another video that is by request. A few videos back I showed you guys how to make easy keto Little Debbie style zebra cakes. And on that video, PB Hello, I think I pronounced that right, asked about making a keto version of Little Debbie fudge rounds. And so, of course, today I am going to show you guys how to make a very easy keto version of Little Debbie fudge rounds. And if you want a printable version of this, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find printable versions of this and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out a new video on every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some Amazon affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those Amazon affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and will help to support the channel. So, anytime you want to purchase anything on Amazon, make sure you remember me, use my affiliate link, and a small portion of your purchase will help to support the channel. And while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Line 2 large baking sheets with parchment paper. In a large mixer bowl, combine a half cup of coconut flour, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 4.5 tablespoons of monk fruit sweetener or granulated sweetener of your choice, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Sift or whisk these all together until they're fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 3 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they can beat in more smooth. Beat on low for about 10 seconds or just enough to moisten the dry ingredients. Then increase your speed to medium and beat on medium for another 30 seconds or until the eggs are fully incorporated with the dry ingredients. Scrape down the sides of the bowl if you need to. Add 10 tablespoons of room temperature butter that's been slightly softened. Make sure it's just softened, not melted. And 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Beat these again on medium for another 30 seconds or until everything is fully combined. And you have a smooth dough. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push all the cookie dough to the center of the bowl. Then allow the dough to rest for about 5 minutes just so it can absorb any extra moisture. These are going to be a soft cookie, so this recipe has extra fat from the butter in it. So you definitely need to let it rest for those 5 minutes so the cocoa flour can absorb that extra fat a little bit. Once the dough is rested for about 5 minutes, scoop the dough out about 1.5 tablespoons at a time onto your prepared baking sheets. Roll each scoop into a tight, smooth ball and place them about 2 inches apart on the baking sheet. Then lightly flatten down the top of each ball so you have a flat disc shape. These cookies do spread, so you don't have to shape them out super thin. You just want to make sure the top is flat so you have a flat cookie shape and not a oddly formed ball shape. So make sure you do keep space in between each one of them because, like I said, these do spread a little bit. Once your cookies are shaped, place them in your preheated oven and bake at 350 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes or until they are slightly firm. These are going to be a soft cookie, so you want to make sure not to overcook them. You're just looking to make sure that they are no longer wet and doughy. Mine, 10 minutes was perfect. Once they're done baking, remove them from the oven. They will still be soft, but they will firm up as they cool. Allow them to cool on the pan for about 10 minutes or until they're firm enough to transfer to a wire rack without them falling apart. Remember, these will be a soft cookie even after they've cooled a bit. We want them to be soft and chewy, not hard. Once they've cooled on the pan, transfer them to a wire rack and allow them to cool completely before filling them. For the filling, in a large mixer bowl, place 1 cup of room temperature butter that is slightly softened. Make sure it is softened. It will not beat right if it is not softened. Beat the butter on medium for about 45 seconds or so, just until the butter is creamy. Scrape down the sides of the bowl. Add a half teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I like to sift in the cocoa powder. That way I can make sure there's no lumps in it. If you don't have a sifter, you can always put it in a small bowl and just use a fork and stir it around a bit just to make sure that there's no lumps in the cocoa powder. Beat together on low for about 10 seconds or so just to moisten the cocoa powder a little bit. Then increase the speed to medium and beat on medium for about 30 seconds or until everything is smooth. Scrape down the sides of the bowl once again and push everything to the center of the bowl. Turn the mixer on low speed and gradually sift in 1.5 cups of powdered swerve or powdered sweetener of your choice and allow it to beat in after each addition. You want to do this in small amounts so the powdered swerve doesn't clump up on you. If you don't have a small sieve to sift it in, then put it in a small bowl, use a fork or a whisk, and whisk it all together and make sure there's no lumps in the powdered swerve, and then just gradually add it in small amounts to the mixer bowl. Make sure you let it beat in really well after each addition. Once the entire 1.5 cups of powdered swerve has been added, increase your speed to medium and beat on medium for another 30 to 45 seconds or until the filling is smooth and creamy. Again, scrape down the sides of the bowl and push everything to the center. Add 2 tablespoons of room temperature milk. Make sure it is room temperature. It beats in and makes the filling more fluffy when it's room temperature. And beat on medium for another 30 seconds or until the filling is fully combined and fluffy. Scrape down the sides of the bowl once again and push everything to the center of your bowl. Then set the filling aside for just a second. To assemble the fudge rounds, turn half of your cookies upside down, then spread 1.5 tablespoons of the filling evenly across the flat side of the upside down cookies. Make sure you leave a little bit of room around the edges. Then top the filling with one of the plain cookies and press just slightly to make sure that the fudge round is sealed. Be careful not to push too hard. Remember, these are soft cookies, so just press gently. Now, this filling recipe does make a lot of filling, so if you don't want to have extra, you can cut this recipe in half. If you do have extra, you just store it in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 3 days, and you can use it. Once all the fudge rounds have been assembled, in a shallow microwave-safe bowl, place a 1/2 cup of keto chocolate chips and 1 teaspoon of coconut oil. Microwave on high in 15-second intervals, stirring after each interval until the chocolate chips are completely melted and completely combined with the coconut oil. You want to have nice smooth chocolate. Once the chocolate's fully melted, line a large baking sheet with parchment paper and place the fudge rounds on the parchment paper. Then dip the tip of a spoon into the melted chocolate and drizzle the melted chocolate over the top of the fudge rounds, creating lines on top of the fudge rounds. Whatever design you want to make them in is up to you. Just make sure they're just thin lines of the chocolate across the top of the fudge rounds. Once the chocolate has been drizzled over the top of the fudge rounds, place them in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes or until the chocolate is solid. Once your chocolate is solid, remove the fudge rounds from the refrigerator. If your extra chocolate that's in your bowl has rehardened, just pop it back in the microwave for about 10 to 15 seconds or until it's liquid again. Then turn your fudge rounds over and again dip your spoon in the chocolate and drizzle the chocolate over the underside of the fudge rounds. Once the chocolate's drizzled, place them back into the refrigerator for another 15 minutes or until the chocolate is firm. Once the chocolate's firm, remove it from the refrigerator. Place the fudge rounds on a serving platter. If you have any leftovers, you can store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. You do want to keep these in the refrigerator so that the chocolate will not melt. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button. You can leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.